Hello again, adventures, and I'm gonna move this cooker closer. Welcome to another exciting episode of Daily December 2020, the Forgotten Year. Day 5. Um, Today's gonna be a bit shorter. I think I should stop saying that because it's never true. Um, when when I was in high school, um, there was our school was set up into four wings. Um, uh, you had now I've got to think. You had the north wing, which was the gym and weight rooms, stuff like that. You had the east wing, which was all of your academic classes, maths, science, history, that stuff. You had this south wing, which was shop and art classes. So um, we just called that the art wing. And then you had the west wing, which was the music wing. It's where the theater was. It's where the choir room, the orchestra room, and the band room were. And at the very end of it, there was a storage room. Or at least that was what it was used for years. It was supposed to be some sort of classroom, but the faculty had just decided, since it was the music hallway, they would just use it for whatever. Well, I think maybe a year or two before I got to this school, or it might have been my freshman year. The music department got a grant from something. I don't know who it was. It might have been a booster or something, but they got money to create a technology music technology lab. And they did it. It took a while. They had to clean up the entire room, and then they went and they bought brand new computers for everything in there, and they bought actual MIDI keyboards that they connected to every one of the computers. The keyboards themselves, because they had things like aftertouch and weighted keys. They ran like $300 or $400 a piece just for the keyboards. And then they went and bought software, music notation software. They used Sibelius and music education software. And they even bought effectively a portable recording studio software, mics, everything. And so they transformed the storage room that hadn't been used in like the decades into this really great music tech lab. And I think like the year after it was done, the school board decided, oh well, we need that space now. The computer teacher needs that, so we're just gonna take that space back. We'll keep the computers that you guys purchased out of your budget. But we're gonna use that as another as our new computer room, and the music department, led by the band teachers, effectively told them to shove it in their ass. And they got to keep their tech lab that they had built from scratch. The reason I mentioned this was uh, I think he's either sophomore or junior year of high school. Uh, I had an elective of opened, and I think it needed something to do with science. Can't remember. So I took a class they had built for this the thing called uh, music technology or something like that. We basically learned how to use a computer to write music, and yeah, it was interesting because you had people that had never seen a single note of music mixed in with people like me who I'd been playing an instrument since fifth grade, um, and I'd been singing much longer than that. I'd been able to read music since I was in like fourth grade or third grade. I was really gifted as far as music was concerned. And so while everyone else was learning how to read treble and bass clef, which I knew how to do both from, I played an instrument that tenor sax plays to treble clef. And I sang bass, which all my notes were written on the bass clef. So I learned how to read both, and I could read full staves, and I even learned through that, and through another course, I learned a couple of the other clefs, like the alto clef and stuff like that. But anyway, um, while I was there, uh, I didn't just do well in the course. I got the best grade in the class, mostly because while everyone else was doing things like, one time we had to arrange a song. Like, he gave us sheet music, and we had to create a new arrangement of it. And most people opened up GarageBand and just put the rhythms and stuff in, and then switched notes, or they'd put the notes in, and then they'd put new rhythms to them. But it's really kind of simple stuff. If you've ever used GarageBand, you can do some incredibly advanced things with it, but it's also designed to be extremely user friendly, and it doesn't really require a huge knowledge of music to be able to use. So that's what most of them did. I rewrote a song. It was a Nora Jones song that I can't remember now. I rewrote it for a four-string quartet with dynamics and all this other stuff. Like, and I made full sheet music for it. And the final project was to compose some sort of song. I can't remember how long it had to be, but it was relatively simple. Like, as long as you put a couple chords in, that was really all you needed to do. And it had to make sense. Like, you had to use a key signature and other stuff we learned. I wrote a sonata. That was my attempt to describe a sunrise in musical form. Effectively, it was what was called a tone poem. And yeah, I printed it off, and I created it to the title page and everything, and it was cool. It's not a great song. I have it. I have recordings of it, MIDI recordings of it. It's a boring song, but it was just something that just made perfect sense to me back then. And it was at that point, that class got me started writing music. I've written, I can't remember now, I think like a dozen songs, something like that, for keyboard and voice. I have one that I actually arranged for a small pop band. I have two movements of a symphony, which the Sunrise Sonata was what it was called, was the first movement. And then the third movement was the waltz of the setting song, Sis's Sun. The Sis's Symphony was supposed to describe a day in music. Um, and yeah, the waltz is better. It's still not great. Again, I was very raw in my composition, but all that used to make sense to me. Like I could look at a score and I could read a score and tell what was going on, and I could listen to a song and pick out each individual instrument and figure out different ways to arrange it. And like music was a really big thing for me, and I can't anymore. I can't. I can't see the music anymore. When I look at well-written songs in that, they seem, for lack of a better term, magic to me. In the idea that I see what's happening, but I can't tell you how it happened. It doesn't make sense to me. It looks impossible for it to work, but it does. And that's really, really hard to live with. When I used to be able to see all the interconnected pieces of a song, and I used to be able to understand all the cadences and chord progressions, and I could use music that the theory to learn so much more about a song than just the notes that were being played, and the color and tone into the timbre, and all of that is gibberish to me now. I've had for over a year now, I've had this song in my head that I want to write. I desperately want to get this as a song out, and I can't even start. It's like trying to write a letter, but you're only allowed to write it in Celtic runes. And I don't even know Celtic, much less the runic system of writing or anything like that. And it's just, it's been really rough, and it's just been getting to me the past couple of days, so thought I did to talk about it. Anyway, that's everything for today. I'll see you guys tomorrow, right? Bye.